My AI agents make it so easy to film 3 videos a day because every morning there's a show doc waiting for me. No hunting for ideas, no writing bullet points, no starting from scratch. I just wake up, read the document, film, and my work is done. I make 6 figures per year doing this, and today I'm going to show you exactly how this system works by upgrading it live, fixing problems as they come, because there are a couple of upgrades that I really wanted to have. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'll actually give you the workflow MD file so you can give this skill to your agent. Overview. So before I touch anything, I want to show you what the system already does. So every morning it's scheduled at 6 a.m. It runs an NAN workflow that gets triggered, that sends a morning briefing v4 that orchestrates this pipeline. So essentially, it goes into Airtable where I have a viral video ideas table, and these have a top videos by outlier score. So if that sounds too crazy, let me show you right now. And this is the viral videos right here. What this does is we have another automation that is called Viral Radar that takes every single one of these channels here every single day, scrapes them, and figures out if that video that they published today or yesterday is an outlier or not. So what that means, as you can see here, we have outlier score. Yeah, so as you can see, the outlier score here also isn't actually getting updated. So this is something we have to fix as a baseline as well. So we're gonna do that together. However, as you can see, the outlier score here is 30, which means that it got 30 times the amount of his baseline, which is an incredible video, right? And this one as well that I saw from Stephen J. Pope just a couple of days ago got a 18x multiplier of his baseline, right? So why is that cool? Well, because it seems like the audience or my audience and our entire market is interested in this exact thing. So maybe that's something we are going to use as inspiration to make videos as well, right? And that's exactly what we are doing. And so the first pro tip here is, what are your show doc based on? Which people in your industry are the people to look up to? Which channels on YouTube do you care about, or which channels on Instagram do you care about? Put them into this document right here so you can get a baseline of truth. Because if you tell AI to just give me video ideas, it doesn't do so well. So the question to you is, what is your prompt based on? For us, the show doc is based on the best videos on YouTube the last couple of days. So of course, that is the best baseline that we can have. So that is what is happening inside of the step number 2. Then we send it to Claude AI that writes a full show doc that has titles, intros, outlines. I just showed you that in the intro. Then we get a actual formatted doc that goes to Google Docs, that we have a master show doc with a new tab every day. And then it notifies me on Telegram that says, hey, your show doc is ready. And I wake up. So by 7 a.m. essentially, this is done. And I wake up, I open the show doc. Here you go. Like, is this what you want to film? Like this one, Cloudcorn turning into non-coders into software companies. This one is super interesting, but you can see that there are some problems right here. And you might be also asking about plagiarism and stuff. I have very specifically told it not to take the idea itself, and I'll show you how we're kind of mixing formats and stuff to avoid plagiarism, because I don't want to talk about what other people are talking about. They already said it. I want to talk about something unique to me. And so I'm trying to add that into the show doc as well, which we have actually done. Because it doesn't take only from one inspiration, it takes from multiple keywords, and then it delivers a format that is viral. Either way, you will get through that in just a minute. But now you hopefully understand, and Telegram, we have our beautiful Claudia here that is sending us messages. And I believe here it is telling me every morning. However, that is the current problem. So let me show you the exact problems right now. Number 1, fix today. It doesn't actually run every morning. So I actually have to trigger it through Claude Code. So this is the first that we're going to fix. And if you never set up a schedule before with Claude Code and stuff like that, you'll see how that goes about. It also doesn't do thumbnails. So I actually have a thumbnail system that makes really insane thumbnails. Just take a look at this when it loads. As you can see, these are also taken when the question is, what are you basing this on? Well, I'm basing this on the most viral thumbnails. So as you can see right here, yeah, of course, this is plagiarism. And therefore, there are multiple things that we have to do to avoid that. And it's not really like just like, oh, we're going to get caught or something. I don't like plagiarism, but there is something called inspiration and taking inspiration, right? That's what humans do. So, you know, this one isn't really that great. But some of them, you can take it one step further and you can actually get to something quite original. Like, for example, this is probably a pretty decent example, but yeah, this is how it starts and this is where we end up. You can see that besides the text, we've actually changed the colors, we changed the face, we changed the background, we even changed the logo. So it looks quite original, but there is, you know, there needs a tiny bit of human work to actually get it all the way to original, or maybe a little bit more prompting, but we're not fixing the thumbnails right now. All we're doing is making a bunch of thumbnails and putting the 3 best thumbnails in the show doc itself so that we can just open the show doc and we can actually see the thumbnail right here in the top. And we can just be like, oh, okay, that sounds like something I want to do or not do. And we can start growing our library of thumbnails as well to feed our AI intelligence system. So the main benefit for you watching right here is to see me do work. You need to learn systems thinking and agentic engineering. And so if you don't know how to do that, just watch me go through how to fix this. Stay to the end for the before and after. And I'm also going to show you where to download this exact workflows file so you can just take everything that I did in this video and just copy paste, baby. If there's one thing I know, it is that everybody loves copy paste. So let's get started with the first prompt. Hey Claude, I love the show doc process that we currently got. You have it in your workflow, but the problem is that it's not running every single day. So I'm wondering what we should do. Should we make an NAN trigger or something? Ask me any question before you begin. So that's going to be our first prompt. And what I love NAN for now specifically are triggers, automations that are running every single day. Claude Code is good at everything, but if you have an efficient NAN automation or even a Python script that does it for you, you can actually get NAN to be the trigger and a Python script to be the entire automation as well. So here it says what the show doc process involves. My questions before we proceed. Let's see. Are you happy with the current show doc quality when I create them? Or is it room to simplify the process, fewer steps or shorter docs? Keep current quality. So that's basically, we don't want to change anything of it. It really is perfect. All we want is some more scheduling. And here is a pro tip, and that is continue with one fix all the way to the end. You need to have a completionist mentality until you go to the next step. There are times where you can say, do this, this, and this, but it should always be one feature at a time. Does this approach work for you? One / command that runs the full show doc process, or do you want something different? Yes, build it. Here it says improve the SOP. Well, that's not really what I want. What I want is a show doc process getting done every single morning at 6 a.m. Thailand time, and I get that Telegram message. Next, should I also set up a reminder system so you don't forget to run it each morning? So as you can see, it's thinking that I should do it. So I actually don't want a reminder. I don't want a reminder. I want you to do it through NAN, I believe, unless there are any other ways that we can actually run this daily on a 7 a.m. Bangkok time. I've now submitted that, and there are some timing things here. And so for me, I have some things running at 6, some running at 7, some running at 8, and some running at 9. So think about it sequentially like that as well. If there are things that need to happen first, because we're using the viral scraper and that's like taking all our ideas. So we need that to run before we can run the show doc, obviously. Here are some realistic options for running this automated 7A app. You can do a NAN and Gemini pipeline. NAN triggers a Python script, NAN plus Claude API, MCP agent. I would love to make an NAN automation. You have my API in your env file. Do you have an Anthropic API key, or do you want to use Gemini for the AI parts? I want you to not use Anthropic or Gemini, just use NAN. Submit, and as you can see, it's so nice when it asks you these questions, and the prompt is ask me questions before we begin. This will prompt it to be more question heavy, which depending on what you like or don't like, you can tag that along at the end there. All right, another question. OpenAI credential in your NAN, is that set up active OpenAI IP with credits? Yes, it's active, but I don't want to use ChatGPT for this. I actually want to use Claude Code, and I'm not sure how to use the subscription model because it's probably wanting me to do it with the API that costs more. So I actually wanted to possibly run in my terminal on my computer, but that may not work. So let me ask. So the goal is to use my Claude subscription plan that I'm paying $100 per month for. And so using AI APIs is part of the problem. I know that I can use Claude Code API, but again, that is the problem. I want to use the subscription. So maybe there's a way that it can trigger my computer to run a Python script or something like that. Remember that VS Code has Claude Code in it. So if there's a way for me to connect my computer, I could do it like that if that's possible. Okay, cool. I'm gonna click on next. Here we have for the Google Docs part, should I use an existing to also create and edit the Google Docs, or do you have a separate Google Docs credential? Find the credential in my env, and there should be instructions in the show doc workflow on how to handle this. All right, submit. So here you can see the question is, how does NAN trigger your Mac at 7 a.m. Bangkok? So it's asking more for research remote trigger options. This is one of my favorite parts because doing this myself would be absolutely so annoying. Look at that. Before I build this, you need to open a separate terminal window, not this one, and run this test command. Does it work? Okay, let me test that. Copy. Terminal, and I think I messed up. Let me do that again. Nope, it actually returned duration API MS result hello. There are no security problems here, right? Please comment below if I'm not dying. I'll paste that in here, click on submit, and it's going to say it worked, right? In headless mode, using your subscription, the command not found error at the end is just because you included some backticks. It actually ran perfectly. As you can see, these are some of the active NAN automations as well. Trending Topic Scout, Viral Radar. So these are two different ones. And what you'll find when you make your agent better is that it actually starts bloating itself. And so your job is also to be the cutting away and sacrificing what doesn't work as well, because just like humans, they think more is better, but actually less is better. So pro tip, be ruthless with deleting or basically compacting multiple things. And the reason why this happens is you didn't tell it in the prompt that it has all these workflows, and so it will start making new workflows because it thinks that it doesn't have this workflow. And so just make sure to always mention everything that it might need before it starts the task. And as you can see, it now allows Bash to be ran through login items. Safety, please. To make sure your Mac wakes up before 7 a.m. even if the lid is closed or sleeping, I need you to run a sudo command to set a daily wake schedule. Can you run this? That's actually a problem that I was thinking about. Like, should I actually like have my Mac open all the time, or should I do something like this? So let's test that out. Let's hop on over into the terminal again. Let's go in here, paste it, and password. All right. And yeah, I did the password, but nothing happened. That may be all right. Here is what happened. So I just pasted it in right there. Let's see. Your Mac will now wake instantly at 6:55 a.m. That's amazing. And so I feel like this would be a better time to have NAN self-hosted on my own computer rather than I am having it on hostinger.com, because then it could actually run it inside itself. So it doesn't actually need anything else but sites itself. And now it tested actually the Telegram as well. So it gave us a message here, Shawdog scheduler. So it wakes, run, and then the engine, Claude Code headless. And as you can see, Claudia is up and running. Now let's test it. Everything is set up and working. Do you want to run a full test now? I want to test the full show doc. However, I want you to ask me any question before you begin. Here, basically, you want to make a real one. Yes. The test will run a separate Claude Code process. We have the headless Claude P. This means user subscription credits. Wow, that is super cool. I'm excited about that. Yes. Yes, go ahead. However, I don't really understand this part. So is this a terminal that is going to be ran in the background that I cannot see? Or will it actually be a terminal that I can see and control and cancel if I need to close it down or something? All right, cool. Let's submit that. So it's actually a background. You cannot see it. It's a silent background process that writes output to a log file. If you need to stop it, you'll have to find the process ID and kill it. For testing purposes, I think it's better to run it from this session so you can watch it happen in real time. Yeah, of course, I want to watch it real time right here, but I also want to test that it's running in headless. So what to do now? I love that it's some sort of secret ninja. However, I'm wondering if it's possible to run it without hiding it so I can actually see it working. I don't like that it's hidden. All right, there's a complete middle ground where you can just do Claude-P. All right, so that is fine with me actually, and way better. I would actually really like to see what happens inside the terminal when I do this. We can do a output with streaming text, full Claude Code UI. I like both number 1 and number 2. Of course, the second option is the best one. However, the even better one would probably be to run it inside Visual Studio Code and not the Claude Code desktop. Does that actually work? My favorite is seeing the to-do list that just gets updated. And right now it said viral videos table only has 2 videos from the last 7 days. And so another pro tip when dealing with agents of this kind is really to think what is the base that you're working from. Once again, it is if the viral ideas on YouTube in your niche is the thing that you're basing it on, that will make it a good output. So think always how to get better data at the beginning of the pipeline so you can get to a show doc that is amazing because it's based on the right things. It's almost like a song based around vocals, songs based around drums, songs made around getting dirty, getting jiggy with it. But there is one thing I forgot to tell you about, and that is I also have a formatter that essentially strips the video down to its format. Then we have a format Hall of Fame. And so once again, this is just deepening the base. What is your base looking like? And so here you can see that the format here has the new tool build along is one format, advanced feature, opportunity strategy, contrarian hot take, and this has the format description of what this format actually is. Then we have a structural template of how to do that format. Because if you do a review of like a restaurant, that is how did the food taste? And there are certain parameters like service, cleanliness, and stuff like that that you would rank it on, and that is a review. right? And then you have a tutorial, which would be how to eat food in X city, right? or a listicle would be a video of top 10 places to go in each city. And this is a way to bypass plagiarism while keeping the best formats, which is arguably the most important part, is the formatting and structure of the video, and not the, copying whatever they're saying or something. The topic and the structure, it ends up at the actual great show doc in the end. Does that make sense? And so here we've actually found videos that I believe have hundreds of thousands of views, basically taken the formats out, stripped it down to a skeleton so we can use it again in the future on new topics. So whenever a new model launches or something like that, the AI can always say, hey, maybe we should try this format, or maybe we should try this new topic with all these formats. Maybe we can do 5 different formats on just one of the tools. If it works, right? So that is kind of the thought process here. And this is where I guess my genius comes in, and where systems engineering, when content creation really meets agentic building. So this is something very, very important. Just, you maybe see somebody else that says, make a show doc for me every morning. And you can see how my way of thinking versus how their way of thinking ends up at completely different results because of, again, what it's based on. It's still making the show doc, and it said 5 to 10 minutes, and that is because it takes quite a lot of research. As you can see, it's going into 3 different topics, figuring out which one is the best and giving it to me based on some parameters. So at this point, I'm literally just sitting here and watching it do work and just writing in my book at the same time. Some other times I may put it to the side and then open another Visual Studio Code on this side and work on another task at the same time. But I think it is actually better to just do one at a time and just sit and enjoy the silence. All 3 research agents are complete with massive amounts of data, and the to-do list is starting to get done. I've been waiting for about 10 minutes now, and it's so cool to think, if this takes 10 minutes for the AI agent, I wonder how fast a human could do it and what the quality output is. And the answer is probably this beats a human most of the time. And this is the fastest it's ever going to be. It might take a literal snap of the fingers and the work is already completed, like we've seen with some LLMs being able to have ridiculously fast answers. We may have ridiculously fast actions a year from now. And that is only going to speed up. However, we got Claudia to send us a show docs ready. We have some Claude Code trigger dev. We have some formatting issues here a little bit, but it doesn't look bad. Let's take a look at the show doc. Let's open it up. And just like that, we have a bunch of topics here. And these are sources with outlier score. And again, this is a keyword driven. It's not that we're taking just from one creator. It is keyword driven outlier score, which means that it's popular across the channels that we are doing. It looks beautiful, right? Like, look at this walkthrough here. There's a little bit of formatting issues, but formatting is another task that does take some time. So I'm not going to do that right now. The main thing that I really want to do to get this to the next level is really to just make sure that it actually works every single morning, right? And it's saying everything is ready for tomorrow morning. First automated run at 7 a.m. Bangkok time. Is there anything else you would like to adjust? Can you reassure me that it actually will run in the morning tomorrow? It actually looks fantastic and you did a great job. Everything checks out. The full status is wake at 6:55. Then it does this, and we get a Telegram notification. You're all set. It will run. Damn, that's so cool. And if you want to take the entire process that I just showed you, what I'm going to ask is, can you save and standardize this into your workflow MD file? If there's anything new that you need to change, do it here to help you in the future. Also, can you add this to your processes in the AIMate OS Google Sheet? And just like that, it's going to create a new workflows file that I'm just going to hand to you, and you can get it completely for free. Just head to school.com/AI-mate, click on the classroom, go inside of our AI agent Claudia, and on the inside, you'll find the show doc process. And here you have both the MD files, They're not perfect, but neither am I. And if you want a more guided approach where we take your hand and set everything up with you, check out AI Mate Plus. Finally, book an AI strategy call if you want to join us on the next cohort starting March 9th, where we're gonna blow shit up. And by the end, you'll have your own AI agent. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.